When two clowns crashed, it was no laughing matter. And no, it was not part of their act. The two elderly men crashed their minivan on their way to the local fair. The driver, 83-year-old James Billingsley, aka Dimples the Clown, collided. He missed the entrance, but when he tried to make a U-turn, he slammed right into an SUV. They're okay. Police say Dimples was wearing oversized clown shoes, but police say that they did not play a role in the crash.
Yo, shout out DJ Cream.
Stay a while and listen.
Oh yeah, I'll look at those. Okay.
I know we have a big box and there's like Disney movies for them.
Okay.
I'm gonna go there. Work on them.
How much are the like these going for?
She's $1.
$1.
Somebody just bought some. I had some guy just get over on me big time.
Oh really?
Yeah, my sister's like really mad. Because he told them, and they were standing right here. Like because we kept leaving stuff out, and we didn't get product kept away like that. I guess little.
That's the best clown horn around.
It's so cool. What was your clown name?
Floozie,
Floozie.
and I was with a church group.
How you doing?
Lay down. Ain't no reason for either one to be up. Down, little boy.
Why do you have these guys up here?
They were in a stack. I don't know if they're all there. I wasn't going to try selling them, so I just... Hello.
Mannequin heads, right? Mannequin heads?
I don't know. I buy storage units, so they came in a storage unit. I know what came with the whole wing from the lady I think she was buying.
It is the mannequin heads. Really? Wow. I go over top right there.
Put it on my unit. Put it on my thing.
Tacky. I swear it takes forever.
Little girl. Really? Lay down. I don't care that they're in there barking. It's none of your business. You're out here.
Sympathetic to it.
I don't know for what. Listen, this is her brother's house. Well, that's actually her brother's girlfriend's dogs in there. And yeah, when she leaves, she puts them down instead of because he's her brother's a babysitter. They don't want to cooperate with here.
No, mine are over here.
I don't have nowhere to put that. I'm gonna do more over here, like with the records.
What? Oh, yeah.
Man, you want some too? You better wrap it up. You better wrap that gavel up, B. Here we go again, give you more nothing.
So picked up a ton of stuff. CDs, picked up Nirvana's Nevermind from 1991, their second studio album. Who doesn't know this album? #1 on the Billboard charts, replaced Michael Jackson's Dangerous in 91, Diamond certification, 30 million copies sold worldwide. Just incredible album. One of the greatest albums ever made, according to just about everybody. Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory from 1995, and that is their second studio album. Hit #4 on the Billboard charts, 4 times platinum. It is actually, and I found this somewhat surprising, considering UK talent. This album was the 5th best selling album of all time in the United Kingdom, 16 times platinum. Great album, tons of singles off of that album, and I didn't have it, so now I do. Pearl Jam's Vitology. I was super happy to find this. I should have got the vinyl back in the day. I remember it was released on vinyl before it came out on CD or tape, and I had a couple friends that got on vinyl. I was like, no, I'm going to get on CD. But came out in 94, third studio album. I found this interesting. Between 1991 and 2014, it actually held the record for the most vinyl sales in 1 week until Jack White's Lazaretta broke it. 5-time platinum album. And it was originally titled Life. And Eddie Vedder named it after a medical book that he found at a garage sale. And that's why the packaging looks like a book. And Vitology, meaning the study of life. So, awesome Pearl Jam album. Actually, probably my favorite Pearl Jam album. Stone Temple Pilots' Purple from 1994, their second studio album. Chinese character on the bottom left-hand corner is actually the Chinese character for the word purple. Debuted at number 1 on the Billboard charts, 6 times platinum. Interesting fact about it, there's no track listing on the back. Instead, it has the birthday cake. And there's 2 actual versions of the CD itself. One has kind of a chartreuse dragon scales, and one has a birthday cake. The dragon scales, I think, is a promo version, but I found that pretty interesting. Missy Elliott, The Real World from 1999, number 10 on the Billboard charts, platinum album. Was originally titled She's a Bitch, and she dedicated the album to the victims of the Columbine shootings. Awesome album by Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott can't lose. Everything she does is, according to me, wonderful. And then found this CD in a bin by a Detroit rap duo called the Young Guns, and it's called Bumpin' Down Verner. Verner being a street in Detroit that runs through Mexican Town. It's their third album, and it's apparently pretty rare. And according to Discogs, it ranges between like $35, $40 to $100 for this thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know much about them. I listened to a couple tracks from it, and it kind of reminds me a bit of Esham, a little bit. It's it's definitely got a Detroit delivery, which is unique to this area, especially for hip hop, well, music in general. Then a cassette single, Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You from 92, originally recorded by Dolly Parton in 1973. Dolly wrote it. It was a number 1 hit on the country charts for Dolly Parton. This was originally produced for the Bodyguard soundtrack. And it was number 1 worldwide for 14 weeks. One of the best-selling singles of all time by a female female solo artist. I found when I was doing a little bit of research on it that originally Dolly Parton wrote that for her songwriting partner Porter Wagner, and they had ended a 7-year working relationship, and she wrote that about the end of their collaborative efforts. It was also originally offered to Patti LaBelle by Dolly Parton, and Patti LaBelle didn't turn it down, but she never got back to Dolly, so it just went back up on the shelf. And it was originally suggested to Whitney Houston, believe it or not, by co-star in The Bodyguard Kevin Costner, who was a fan of Linda Ronstadt's 1975 version. And when Dolly Parton found out that Whitney was recording it, she provided her with a verse that Linda Ronstadt had not used and said that she thought it was really important to the song. And, obviously because of Whitney Houston's incredible range on that song, it just became a legendary song. Bob Seger, a single from his 1991 album, The Fire Inside, called The Real Love. I'm really not familiar with that song in particular, but kind of cool to find a Bob Seger single. Kid Rock, Devil Without a Cause from 1998. That's his fourth studio album, 11 times platinum. It's got some guest vocals from Eminem on a track, and on Wasting Time, a Detroit female recording artist, Thornetta Davis, just an awesome R&B singer that I've loved for a long time. Did some work with Big Chief in the early 90s, and she's on that song Wasting Time. Huge album for Kid Rock. That's what really vaulted him into superstardom. His previous recordings were big in the area here, but that one launched him to international fame. Tupac, Do for Love. Wish they had the sleeve for this, but they didn't. Just had a jewel case for it. But Do for Love from 1998. That was from his posthumous release, Are You Still Down, in 1998. Originally titled Sucker for Love in an unreleased form, and then they retitled it when they were packaging it for the release after his death. Reached number 21 on the Billboard charts. Christina Aguilera, 1999, What a Girl Wants, from her self-titled debut album. Number 1 on the charts, her second number 1, the first being Genie in a Bottle off of that album. Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill from 1998. Awesome album, debuted at number 1, 10 million albums sold. Tons of guest musicians on it, Julian Marley, Carlos Santana. The name of the album was a combination of 2 novels, The Education of Sonny Carson and Carter Woodson's The Miseducation of the Negro. So I always wondered where that came from, and I found that digging up some research on it. But awesome album, just a legendary album. It's the only album Lauryn Hill's done. I wish you'd do another one, but Lauryn Hill, of course, of Fugees fame before branching out and doing that solo album. Let's see where to go from here. I guess we'll go to VHS, The Ring, 2002 remake of Hideo Nakata's Ringu, directed by Gore Verbinski. Sold 249 million worldwide, one of the highest grossing horror films of all time. Really cool movie. The Scariest Moments from Dark Shadows from 1991. That's based on the ABC series that ran from 66 to 71. Kind of a gothic soap opera. The ongoings of the lives of the Collins family in Maine. Vampires, werewolves, ghosts. Really cool series. Vampires from 1999. That's a John Carpenter film. It's kind of a western / horror, starring James Woods. John Carpenter actually left during the production of the film due to some dispute that he had, and makeup artist Greg Nicotero from Walking Dead fame took over for a few days. And it almost got an NC-17 rating for gore, but they cut 20 seconds out to get an R rating. Ghost Ship from 2002, directed by Steve Beck, $68 million worldwide. Shot in Australia. I found while I was doing a little research that when they were shooting exterior shots of the ship in this film, because they used a model for all of the other shots, that while they're shooting in Australia, doing the exteriors of a ship, a feeding frenzy happened and brought 1,000 sharks within like 50 feet of the production. One of the great music-themed movies of all time, Purple Rain, from 1984. This is a 1997 version on VHS. Awesome movie. Got an Oscar for Best Original Score. Prince, Morris Day are amazing throughout it. All the interior shots for the live performances filmed at the First Avenue nightclub in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I found some interesting stuff on the production while I was researching the movie a little bit. David Geffen and Richard Pryor, both initially, well, not initially, but passed on producing the film. Neither one of them really believed in the project, so they declined to help produce it. Warner Brothers, that put out Purple Rain, requested that they replace Prince with John Travolta, of all people. Imagine John Travolta in Purple Rain. And that there was several days of shooting delays due to an ongoing rivalry between Prince and Morris Day. I don't know if that was before shooting that existed, which I thought was weird because Prince produced all of, if not most of the music that Morris Day and the Time did. But yeah, apparently their rivalry depicted in the film was, there was actually some reality to that, and because of that, one day Prince wouldn't show up because Morris Day was there, and one day Morris Day wouldn't show up because Prince was there. Just weird. Then Floozie the Clown. Ladies and gentlemen, I went to a garage sale and put on by a retired clown. She had floppy shoes, she had clown suits, wigs, all kinds of stuff. And I talked to her for a while, and she revealed to me, and you can hear it on the footage, that she was a clown named Floozie. Now, she also gave me an article from a circus magazine that had a feature on her. So there's pictures of her from 1970 and 1971, dressed as her clown, and without paint, putting on her paint. And I ended up getting the horn that she used, that she wore around her neck, a giant oversized comb that is missing a tooth. And she told me the story on missing the tooth, that it snagged in her wig and some kid was pulling on her arm and she broke a tooth off. So the tooth is missing on their giant comb, and a gigantic toothbrush that she used also as a prop. But really, really fun talking to her. And it's not every day that you go to a clown garage sale. But LPs. So I went to a guy's house. He had like 3 tubs of albums. Duke Ellington Uptown from 1953 on Columbia. Love Duke Ellington. Everything about Duke Ellington. Live in Newport's one of my all-time favorite albums. The Greatest soundtrack, a Muhammad Ali film from 1977. And that features The Greatest Love of All by George Benson, which eventually became a big hit for Whitney Houston. But that was the first time that we heard The Greatest Love of All. Teddy Pendergrass. This is his self-titled first album after he left Blue Note, not Blue Note, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes in 1977. Awesome album. Everything by Teddy Pendergrass is phenomenal. Sister Sledge, missing the jacket, but it was in a generic sleeve, and the album's in good shape. We Are Family from 1979. Rudy Ray Moore, also missing its sleeve. I wish it wasn't, because I've been looking for this thing for a while. It's in great shape, but no jacket. Rudy Ray Moore, of course, of Dolomite fame, Eat Out More Often, which must be about like restaurants and stuff. From 1970, it's a party album. Also, party albums, real early party albums. Red Fox of Sanford and Son fame. The Side Splitter Volume 1 from 1959. And Laugh of the Party Volume 4. There was a Volume 2 to the Side Splitter, and Laugh of the Party, I think, had 8 or 9 volumes, but it's compilations of live performances by Red Fox in the 50s. George Benson, In Flight from 1977. I've recently become a George Benson fan. I've been listening to a little more George Benson recently, so I think I'm going to start a Benson collection. Awesome artist. Then we have More Hits by the Supremes, Motown Records, 1965. Two big number one hits for them on here, Stop in the Name of Love and Back in My Arms Again. Both Funk Brothers collaborations. Hit number 6 on the charts. Just a phenomenal album. Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, and Florence Ballard. Just hard to top Motown, but that is it. Had a lot of fun. Awesome. We had horrible weather recently. We actually had a tornado and lots of flooding. As you can see on the video, a lot of basement damage done to one of those neighborhoods that I went through. But it's been great recently, and sounds like nobody was hurt from the tornado, so that's great. And Sheila comes back tonight. I'm going to pick her up at the airport tonight. So we will put out probably another one in a week or so, and Sheila will be with me this time. And everybody have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.